Hey guys, welcome back to the show. So I just got back from the grocery store, and I had this funny experience that happened with this guy, and he's just everyone is staring at the eggs, right? When I go to buy, I go try to grab my eggs, right? Because I ran out of eggs, and he goes, "I'm just trying to figure out whether I'm going to pay the mortgage this month or whether I'm going to eat my eggs." And I said, "Well, yeah, it looks like there's a lot of people trying to figure it out, man. Everybody's just standing here staring at him." He's like, "Well, you got this kind, then you got this kind." And I'm like, "Give me the 4.99 a dozen ones, man. I'm getting out of here." But they had them all the way up to like $10 a dozen. So, I mean, you had your choice. But, right now it happens that the brown ones are the inexpensive ones. But as I was checking out with the cashier, she's getting agitated with the bagger. And so I'm like talking to her to try to, get her to like calm down and stuff. And, she's not having a good time. She's not having a good day. Older lady, right? And I'm thinking about it, and these guys are all making $15 an hour, right? They make about $600 a week. So the average house around here, about $460,000. So I'm thinking about the guy, right? Can he pay the mortgage or is he going to buy the eggs? I mean, if you are a buyer on the sidelines, because as we know from all the real estate investors with the podcast right now, there's so much pent up buyer demand. There's going to be a flood of buyers coming in, guys. These prices are not high enough. We're gonna see the prices go straight to the moon because Donald J. Trump is in the White House right now, and everything is gonna take off like a rocket ship. Everybody's gonna flood into the real estate market. Everybody's getting used to the 7% interest rates. There's no problem there, guys. They can go up to 8%. There's just so much pent up buyer demand. It's just insane. The market's going to go crazy this year in 2025. I was thinking about this. Okay, these guys are making $600 a week. If you bought a brand new house with nothing down, it's like $4,300 a month. How are you gonna you make 2,500 a month and your house is 4,500 a month? Or if you put 20% down, if you got some money saved up, you're still looking at about 3,600 a month, 3,700, with taxes and insurance and everything else. How are these people going to pay for the housing and for the groceries? Like, and then you have your energy, your fuel for your car, right? You have your gas, your oil, electric bill, right? You have your water and sewer, you have your home insurance, right? How are you going to pay for all this? Where is this money coming from? Because salaries are not going up, right? Everybody's making low pay. I mean, you basically have to have a six-figure government job around here, and then you can retire and take your passive income and go move to Florida or maybe move out of the United States because that's where it's headed right now if you're a local and you just make an average salary. And I was thinking about, what would it be like if we were back in the 1950s or the 1960s, And those days, oh, those are said to be the worst days in the country. Oh, it was terrible back then. We had all of the civil rights problems and everything else. Even though that was kind of a problem in the South, not in the rest of the country. But anyways, you could have a family. And by the way, we don't have families anymore in the United States because the birth rate is totally flatlined and taking a nosedive off a cliff. But you could have a family and you could have enough money after your check was, you cash your check, you pay for your mortgage and all of your electric bill and all of your expenses, your homeowner insurance and everything else. And you'd actually have enough money to pay the rent and for your groceries, and you could actually go out to eat once in a while. And maybe take a trip to Disney World or something, go on a vacation, you know, go to the beach, go somewhere up in the mountains, take a vacation with your family. Now, nobody can afford to do any of this anymore. Like it's life in America is like you go to work and you come back home, and then you go to the grocery store, and then you go back home. But there's no you American life is basically over. You don't have a life outside of going to and from work because you spend all of your money paying for the government. Paying your taxes at your W-2 job, and you're paying for the inflation, which is basically government spending. And you guys that love Trump out there, I mean, has Trump said anything about curtailing the spending from Uncle Sam's drunken Congress? No. Nobody's saying anything. Nobody's calling for spending cuts. Nobody wants to make any changes to the level of government we have. We have the biggest government ever assembled in the history of the planet Earth, and everybody just wants to have more of it. right? Everybody wants more intervention. I mean, just think about how government has managed this country. Like, look at what's going on with the homeowners insurance. Look at what's going on in California with the fires, right? Do we think that Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass are doing a good job running the state of California? I mean, do we really think that the United States federal government does a good job administering this country? I mean, just look at all the money we pay into the central government and the authoritarians in Washington to decide what to do with it. And what do we get back out of it? What is the value for our money? Because everyone is just going to work. Nobody's gotten a salary increase in years, right? Everybody's like job hopping, they're leaving a job to go get another job because it's a 20% pay increase, a 30% pay increase. So people are constantly trying to get a higher salary to keep up with all of the $15 trillion that went out the door in the last 5 years because of the crisis, right? And no one can keep up with it. Nobody can keep up with the housing inflation. Nobody can keep up with the grocery inflation. So where is this going, guys? I think it's going to be people are going to start to look. Well, either they're going to get stuck here or they're going to look at getting out of the United States altogether. You're going to take your pension, you're going to take your passive income, your 401k, your retirement. You're going to take your real estate and rent it out, and you're going to get the hell out of here because nobody can afford to live here as a local. And that's what it's coming down to. That's what it's coming down to with all the boomers in the grocery aisle staring at the eggs today. They're all looking at the price and we can't afford the eggs. What are we going to do? Can we even afford to pay the rent and also eat? And maybe not. Maybe you can't. Maybe you're over leveraged. Maybe you're borrowing against your house, and you've already spent all that money. Maybe you went on a trip to Disney World and it cost you $15,000. Everybody's got to do these things anyway. Everybody's got to have the Christmas presents and just, spend, 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 put it on the credit card. And now this is the time of year, and it happens every single year. This is the time of year when the bills come in and everybody looks and sees what they did. They have to sit there and admit what they did last year. They have to admit all of their reckless choices that they made during the previous year's holiday season. And now everyone is just got that face on, right? Everyone is sad. And I don't know. I don't know where this is going, but I saw these people in the egg aisle and it just made me think like, a lot of these people are just average earners with a W-2 job. They have absolutely no control over how much income they earn, right? They get the same amount. They're not getting an increase. If they got an increase, it was a 3% pay increase every single year. So, okay, so you're getting a 3% pay increase, but the inflation is 10 every single year, right? You basically lost 50% of your purchasing power over the last 5 years. So a 3% pay increase means you're getting much, much poorer every single year because of government. And nobody seems to know what's going on. They're just angry about the costs. Like people are angry that the restaurant owners are price gouging people. You hear that all the time in the comment section. I mean, what is the guy who owns the business supposed to do when, he just looked at his US food invoice or his Cisco invoice and he realizes that eggs are now 75 cents per egg? What do you think he's going to do? What do you think the hotel's going to do with their breakfast buffet? They're mandated to make scrambled eggs every single day. I mean, this is not going anywhere good. It's just going to be more increases everywhere we go. No one can really afford to travel or spend on, restaurants, hotels, theme parks, things like that. And so what's that going to do to our economy? That's going to mean cutbacks. That's going to mean people getting laid off, less jobs, less people getting promotions, less people moving up to a better paying job. So Trump's not going to fix this, guys. And that's all I wanted to say because I saw what was going on in the egg aisle and I just said, this is a real problem for people and nobody seems to even be talking about it. So I'll be the one to talk about it. This is the realest take. I hope you liked the show today. I hope you give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Help me out with the algorithm. Leave a comment down below and click something, will you?